Did you know that in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, you can find loads of dead starfish outside of Star Laboratories? This is a reference to DC character Starro, a starfish-shaped supervillain from the DC universe. Hello and welcome to another episode of Video Game Easter Eggs, the series where we take a look at some of the latest and not so latest Easter eggs in video games. Don't forget to leave a like on this video, and if you do, I promise I'll stop leaving my clothes on the bathroom floor. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. Right, let's begin today's video with Counter-Strike 2. Now, in the last episode of this series, we discovered a really cool Easter egg on the Pool Day map. Well, today's Counter-Strike 2 Easter egg is one that might not be as cool, but it is really well hidden. At the terrorist spawn, you can find this. So, a book found by a tree. But it's kind of hard to make out what it says. Well, if we use the no-clip command, we can see that the book says, "I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. Not like here everything's soft and smooth." Now the chances are that most of you immediately got the reference as soon as I said, "I don't like sand." But if you didn't, this is a reference to this scene from Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
I mean, quite why it's included in Counter-Strike 2, I couldn't tell you. Next up are more Easter eggs from Goat Simulator 3's Multiverse of Nonsense DLC. Now, the first Goat Simulator 3 Easter egg for today's video might not even be an Easter egg, and that's why I need your opinion. If you destroy this statue, this will happen. So this was Achilles, and in typical Achilles fashion, he's hurt his heel. Well, technically we hurt it, but let's not split hairs. Anyway, does this pose look familiar to you? Well, when I saw this statue clutching its leg, I immediately thought of the famous Peter Griffin hurts his leg scene from Family Guy. Now, I could be reading too much into this, so I'll be interested to hear what you think. Is this a reference or not? Let me know in the comments. Luckily, there is no doubt surrounding the other Easter egg that I found in Goat Sim 3. Near Mount Olympus, you can find this. So the body of a man in a hay cart, which is of course a reference to the Assassin's Creed series. The outfit in the hay cart, which not only looks like an Assassin's Creed outfit, is called the blend-in robe, which is a nod to the social stealth gameplay seen in the Assassin's Creed games. Right, it's now time for our Overused Video Game Easter Egg of the Week. The segment where we take a look at one Easter egg that has been referenced to death in video games. Today's Easter egg can be found in World of Warcraft. At the underbelly, you can find a rat surrounded by 4 turtles, which is of course another reference to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and their mentor, Master Splinter. Be sure to join me next time for another Overused Video Game Easter Egg of the Week. Next up is a game that I suspect is hiding a lot more Easter eggs than I know about. And considering it's kind of my thing to find Easter eggs, that's really annoying. During the Kunlun Conundrum level in LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2, when fighting the boss, you can find this. So hidden far away from the actual boss fight is a cliff overlooking a pit of lava. Sitting on top of the cliff is a ring. But not just any ring, this is the One Ring from The Lord of the Rings. Well, more specifically, The Return of the King, where a fight over the ring takes place above lava. Now, I can't find anything about this Easter egg online, and that's what makes me think there are so many more things hidden in this game, along with all of the other LEGO games that I just don't know about. So if you think you know anything at all that might be of interest, then let me know in the comments. Up next is That's Not My Neighbour. That's Not My Neighbour is a game where you have to decide whether or not the person standing in front of you actually lives in the building or not. Now, on the surface of things, that sounds simple enough, but it's not long before doppelgangers try to trick you into letting them in instead, which can lead to some very tense moments where you don't know who to trust. Recently, the game got even trickier thanks to the new Nightmare mode, which switches out the regular residents and swaps them with creepy looking monsters instead. Now, most of these are just your stereotypical monsters, but a couple of them are a little more interesting. First up is this strange looking chap. who is a reference to Pinhead from the Hellraiser movies. Next up is this nurse, who's a reference to the nurses found in the Silent Hill games. Inspecting the nurse's ID reveals Roman numerals and a strange pattern, which I'm guessing is also a reference to Silent Hill. The final monster of interest is probably the coolest of them all. In the game's normal mode, you can find a resident called W. Afton, which is a reference to William Afton from the Five Nights at Freddy's series. Now, during the events of the FNAF games, William Afton becomes Springtrap after getting himself trapped in an animatronic suit. Well, when playing the Nightmare mode, W. Afton will be replaced with this guy. So this is the That's Not My Neighbor take on Springtrap, and in my opinion, he looks pretty damn cool. Now that's all of the interesting characters I've found so far in That's Not My Neighbor. If you've played the game and know of anything that I've missed, let me know in the comments. Right, let's end today's video with Phasmophobia. Now a couple of weeks ago, a new map was added to the ghost hunting simulator in the form of Point Hope. Taking place inside of a lighthouse, the map is your typical spooky Phasmophobia map, but this one is hiding a really cool Easter egg. To begin with, you'll need to run to the games room and pay attention to the 3 paintings on the wall. Well, more specifically, the colours of the paintings, those being green, blue and red. Now turn around and throw the green pool ball into a pocket and then do the same for the blue and red balls. If done correctly, the pool table should dispense a key for a cupboard a few floors up. Grab the key and make your way up the stairs, grabbing this gear on the way. Place the gear into the cupboard that you unlocked with the key, and now pay attention to the light at the top of the lighthouse. Here we can see that the light is blinking 3 times. That means we now need to head down to the ground floor and ring this bell 3 times. Doing this will cause a light on a beach in the distance to appear, and if we go to the top of the lighthouse, we can see that UV has been spelled out on the beach using stones. Now shine your UV at the lighthouse, and after the light turns purple, this will happen. So shining the UV light at the lighthouse will cause it to produce a UV light, and in doing so, reveal that a whole bunch of ghostly spirits are surrounding the lighthouse. It's a really cool Easter egg. So that's it. If you could leave a like, it would really mean a lot, and if you think you know something that I haven't featured before, then be sure to leave it in the comments down below, and you'll be featured in the credits of a future video. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.